Okay? And you will make corrections on your quizzes today. Okay? Just so you know, it's an assignment. It's a required assignment. Okay, here we go with 3.4. Piecewise functions. So piecewise functions are somewhat commonly seen on midterms and finals, so you have to understand what this means, okay? So everybody grab your pencil. Tell me what another name for f of x is. Y. So everybody write down y equals negative x plus 2 if x is less than negative 1. Then I want you to write y equals x squared if negative 1 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 1. And then I want you to write y equals x if x is greater than 1. So guys, one of the most common things that I see is that people will use all three of those equations. That is false. You're only going to use one, and you have to figure out which one it is, okay? So everybody go to question A, and I want you to take your pencil and draw an arrow to that negative 2. Is that negative 2 an x value, or is it a y value? Everybody tell me. It's an x value, okay? Now, I numbered the equations for communication purposes. If x is a negative 2, is it less than a negative 1, in between a negative 1 and a 1, or bigger than negative 1? Is it 1 or 2 or 3? It's 1. So then I know I go into this equation 1 right here, and wherever I see an x, I put in a negative 2. So everybody go negative 2 plus 2. That gives me 2 plus 2, which gives me 4, and we're done. That's all you do. The answer is not negative 2, comma 4. If you put this, then you haven't thought about what they're asking. This is what they're saying. In f of x, if x is 2, finish my statement. What are they asking us? What is y? If x is a negative 2, what is y? And you do not write y as an ordered pair, therefore you do not answer as an ordered pair. Y is 4. Okay, let's do another one. If x is a negative 1, okay, look at it. You tell me, 1, 2, or 3. Everybody talk to me.
2.
It's 2. Why didn't you say 1 if there's a negative 1 right here on 1? Tell me. There's no equals, so it's down below. So in parentheses, put a negative 1 squared. That's a negative 1 times a negative 1, which is a positive 1. So all I did is go into that equation, and in parentheses, put a negative 1. There's my answer. I'm good. Okay, next one, f of 0. If x is a 0, everybody tell me, 1, 2, or 3?
2.
It's 2. So you should write 0 squared. 0 squared is a 0. That's your answer, and you're done. Some of you are going to get frustrated when you get your quizzes back, because I'm going to take points off, and I wrote down the word work. And I'm saying you lost points because you didn't show work. I need you to know that I know what's expected. And I'm going to expect the same thing because I want you guys all to get an A on your midterm. So why would I expect less than I know the level of expectation is going to be for your midterm? That would be doing a disservice to you. Okay? Okay, let's do f of 2. You tell me. If x is 2, are we talking about 1, 2, or 3? Tell me.
3.
Number 3. Okay? So it would be y equals x. Well, I know that x is 2, so my answer would be y equals 2, and we're done. Okay? That's it. Okay, sketch the graph. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay? See question A, B, and C. I don't use the answers to A, B, and C to come up with my graph. I don't need to do A, B, and C to be able to graph it. I'm smart enough that I can graph it without those points. We're going to go ahead and graph it, or we're going to find A, B, and C. Don't go ahead of me, okay? We're going to find A, B, and C. Forget about it. Then we're going to do the graph, and then I'm going to make the connection. Okay, everybody stick right with me. If you're writing, then you shouldn't be writing. I want you to stick with me, okay? Okay, everybody write 1 right here and 2 right here. So if x is a negative 2, you guys, is it less than 0 or is it greater than 0? Which one, 1 or 2? Less than 0, so it would be equation 1. So in parentheses, put a negative 2 squared minus 2. Negative 2 squared is a 4. 4 minus 2 is a 2. That's really enough work. Just set it up and then show me your answer. Weber State will accept that. F of 0, you tell me. They both have zeros, so now I feel confused. Which one is it? Number 1, because it has the equal sign. So your work that you'll show on the next test would be 0 squared minus 2. That gives me a negative 2, and you're done. If you don't write 0 squared minus 2, you're not going to get full credit. You have to show what you're doing. F of 1, you tell me, 1 or 2. Everybody tell me. Number 2, right? So you're going to go 2 times 1 plus 1. That's 2 plus 1, which is 3. There's your answer. We're done. Now I want you to forget about it. Now we're going to go straight to the graph, and then I'll make the connection. Okay? You don't need to make a connection because you guys are smart enough. I know you can do it without. Okay, everybody look. The first equation is here. Everybody write down y equals x squared minus 2. When Weber State has you do a problem like from 3-5 that you watch the video on, like lots of adjustments, like a reflection, right, left, up, down, a stretch, they make you do it step by step by step. If it's in a piecewise, you can just do it. Okay, you don't have to do all the steps. Everybody tell me, what does this look like? A line, a V, what is it? So parabola. What does the minus 2 do to your graph? Down 2. Now everybody stick right with me, okay? Go down 2, make a dot. Normal stretch on a parabola is right one up one, left one up one. Right 2 up 4, left 2 up 4. That's enough for me, okay? Take your pencil and connect the dots. I have a question for you. If you had this graph and your person sitting next to you had the same graph with no dots, are your graphs identical or are they different? Talk to me. They're identical. Whether you put the dot there or whether you don't put the dot there, if the graph lies on exactly the same spot, the graphs are the same. Okay, unless one, might have an open circle and the other one doesn't. So the dots don't mean anything. They just helped me to draw my graph. Okay, now everybody watch. This is where people mess up. Okay, and the chance of it being there is kind of high. So I want everyone 100% right here. Okay, that whole graph is not supposed to be there. The only part of the graph that's supposed to be there are x values that are smaller than 0. It tells me right there. Okay, so look, here's my x-axis. You tell me, where are those x values smaller than 0? To the right or to the left? Talk to me. To the left. To the left is smaller. That's what they want to stay. So I'm going to get rid of the right. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to erase the right, and it looks like that. Okay, and again, we know that those points don't mean anything. Okay, what if you're equal to 0? So I only kept the small ones. I only kept smaller than 0. If you're equal to 0, are you on that parabola? Talk to me. Yes, so make sure that your circle is very clearly a closed circle. If I can't tell, you won't get credit. That's half the graph. Now let's do the next one. Everybody write down y equals 2x plus 1. What does that look like? Everybody talk to me. That's just a line, right? So I'm going to graph this one in blue so you can see the difference. So everybody go up 1 and make the dot. That's your y-intercept. Then I want you to go 2 over 1. Put your pencil on the dot, not at the origin, but at the dot. Then you go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. You can also go down 2 and left 1. And then I want you to connect those dots. Okay? The entire line is not supposed to be there. The only part of the graph that's supposed to be there are those values that are bigger than 0. Now you tell me, here's my x-axis right here. Where are the x values bigger than 0? To the right or to the left? Everybody tell me. To the right. To the right. So look what I'm going to do. Go to that 0, push right here. Okay, got to see if I can do this right. Put here, and the right stays, and the left goes. So this is what goes. Okay. Now, here's the last question. If I'm equal to 0, am I on the line? No. No, I'm not. So I'm going to grab my eraser. I'm going to erase that closed circle, and I'm going to put in a what? Open. An open circle. There's my answer. Let me ask you a question. Is that two graphs, or together does it make one graph? You tell me. One graph. That is one graph. Is that graph a function?
Yes.
Why is it a function? Passes a vertical line test, and somebody over here already started talking about what I was going to say next. How is that passing the vertical line test? Once open means it doesn't touch it, so it just touches it right there. Who says, I get this? Raise your hand. Okay, now I'm going to very quickly make the connection. You literally don't ever have to make the connection. I'm just showing you. Look, this means if x is a negative 2, then y is 2. That means left 2, up 2. This means if x is 0, y is a negative 2. 0, negative 2. This means if x is 1, y is 3, go right 1, up 3. Is that how you write your answer? Nope, but that's what it means. Okay? Who says, I get this, I'm good. Okay, yay. Here's the next one. Notice we don't have any f of any business on this because we don't need it. Okay? You guys are smart enough to do that without it. Everybody write down y equals negative 2x minus 4. That's a graph. That's a line, pardon me. The y-intercept is a negative 4, right there. The slope is a negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 and right 1. Now everybody stop. I'm off my grid. So instead of down 2, right 1, I can reverse both of those and go, tell me, up and left, right? Up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. You guys, I'm going to tell you right now, lots of people mess up on this. They mess up on it because they don't know which half to erase. Okay? Yes?
So, to get credit on our work, do we need to write the equation again with the y equals?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you. Sometimes I'll write extra stuff. Yeah, so it's just so you know. Okay, guys, listen right here, okay? This right here, this moment is where people mess up. This is why they miss this problem. Okay, so look. Here is where x is a negative 1. Can you see where I'm pointing? Barely. See that little circle? I really should try to make that bigger, but anyway. So here's where x is a negative 1. I want the less than ones to stay. So you tell me, where is it less than a negative 1? To the right or to the left? You tell me. The left. So the left stays. Now watch my erasing. I'm going to come down here. From a negative 1, I'm going to touch my graph, and I get rid of the right. So it's from a negative 1, everything to the right. Do I have an open circle on the end of that, or do I have a closed circle? Open. Why opened? No equal sign. Easy, right? Okay, y equals x to the third. That's a cubic. You have to have it memorized what it looks like. Pencil at the origin. What's my first step? Do you remember? Yep, 1, 1. And the next one is, it's 2, and then what? 8. 2 cubed is 8. So you're off the grid. So you know what you have to do? Just make it really steep. Everybody look right here for 2 seconds. That's wrong. And I'll take points off. Because that graph is saying that if x is 2, then y is 3. Is that true?
No.
No. So all you have to do is be very vague and be very steep, and you'll get credit. So you just have to go like this. Oops, even that's not good. I'm going to go back. And you just make that guy really steep and never touch that value of 2. Okay? All right. Now, it's only supposed to be there if x is bigger than a negative 1. Everybody talk to me. Here's where x is a negative 1, right there. Okay? I want the bigger than to stay. Where are the values bigger than a negative 1? To the right or to the left? To the right. So look, here's my negative 1. Move to the graph. The right stays. Get rid of the left. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay? Tell me about that circle. Opened or closed, everybody? Closed is correct because I've got an equal sign. So it's going to look like that. Be careful that it doesn't look linear. Mine is kind of bad. So let me fix it. Now it's good. Okay? That's not linear, so be careful. Okay, look at your graph. Find the x-intercept or intercepts. So put an S in parentheses because you might have more than one. How many x-intercepts do I have? Everybody tell me. 2. On the left, do I do this? X equals -2, x equals 0. Is that what I do? What do I do? Ordered pair. There's a lot to remember in here, okay? So it's -2, 0 and 0, 0. Intercepts must be written as ordered pairs. If 0, 0 is an x-intercept, then finish my sentence. It's also a y-intercept. Are you going to have more than one y-intercept? It didn't tell us it's a function. Look at the graph. There's not one. You know, you're done. Okay, everybody look at domain. Start on the left. If I go really far to that wall and I go up and down my ruler, is it going to touch the graph? Tell me. Yes, because there's an arrow at the end, right? Everything's going to touch it. Talk to me about a -1. Does it touch it? Y equals -1. Does it touch my graph? Yes, on the red dot, right? 0, 1, 2. How about a million? Where at?
Really high.
Really high is exactly right. Everybody tell me my domain. Everything, right? All real numbers, okay? They didn't tell me how to write it, so that's acceptable. Has everyone in here taken the quiz? Yes, okay. So in set notation, just a little reminder if you missed it on the quiz, it would be x such that, how do you write all real numbers in set notation? X and then a kind of funny E that's not finished, right? And then an R and then there. If you weren't paying attention when I did those extra 4 problems, then you missed it. So you have to pay attention. Some of you weren't taking notes when I was doing it, and I was like, oh, please write it down. It's on the quiz, but I couldn't tell you that. So anyway, find the range. Range is Y. Start, where do you start? Low, right? And then you raise up. Tell me the smallest number. -2. But does it actually touch a -2? So how do I close it? With a parenthesis. How about bigger than a -2? Yes, so that goes to infinity. Close it, and we're done. Who says easy? Let me see. Yay. Does not feel good. Here's number 4. Same thing. Y equals the absolute value of x minus 3. Everybody in the room tell me, or plus 3. Tell me what that plus 3 does to my graph. Left 3. Normal stretch on an absolute value is 1, 1. So just draw it in over here and draw it in over here. The x values that are supposed to stay are the ones that are smaller. Everybody in the room tell me. Here's my -3. What stays? The right stays or the left? The left because it's smaller. So get rid of the right. From the -3 to over to the left stays. Open or close? Tell me. It's actually, tell me, -3 means close. Do you think that's enough? Is that clear that it's closed?
No.
My graph?
No.
Be clear, like exaggerate, because you really would like to get those points, okay? Okay, let's do the next one. Y equals the square root of x plus 3. Everybody tell me what the plus 3 does to your square root graph. Moves it left 3, so I'm on the same spot. And then what's a normal stretch for a square root? You need to have it memorized. What is it? 1, 1 is correct. And then what's the next one? 4, 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. And then I draw it in. Okay. Now, what kind of circle's on my blue graph? It's open. So what do you think? If a close intersects with an open, do you think it includes it or do you think it does not? It actually does. So it's a closed circle because it included it from the other one. Okay. Okay, find the x-intercept. That's very easy. It's -3, 0. We can get it from our graph. Find the y-intercept. Is this okay? Look. 0, 1.7. It kind of looks like 1.7, so that's what I'm going to put. No, that is not okay. So we're going to skip over that because that's going to take us a little bit of work, so we're going to skip. Find the domain. Everybody look at the graph. Domain is x, start small, move to the right. Everybody in the room tell me the domain. Everything, good. Tell me the range. Range is y. Start, where do you start? Small, start small. So you're down low, You move up, what's the smallest that touches it? A 0. Does it actually touch it? Yes, so I close it with a bracket. How high does it go? Forever. Okay, here we go with y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, I let x be a 0. If x is a 0, am I on my v or am I on my square root? I'm on my square root because look, 0 is bigger than a negative 3. Okay, to find the y-intercept, I let x be a 0. So everybody go, f of 0 is equal to the square root of 0 plus 3, which is the square root of 3. It was actually very simple. Just put in it, if you're finding the y-intercept, let x be a 0, and that was easy to simplify. And you should leave it like that. Is that an exact answer, or is that an approximation? It's an exact answer. When does it become an approximation? When you start rounding. If it's 1/2 and you say 0.5, exact or approximation? Exact. And exact is great. If you say 1/3 is 0.3, is that exact or approximation? Approximation, and you cannot do that in here. Okay? Don't do that. You'll lose points. Okay, here we go with question 5, and then we're done. Then you're going to get your quizzes back, and it's going to be crazy in here while you're correcting. Everyone's going to be helping each other. It's going to be loud and kind of crazy. Okay, question 5. During a particular year, the taxes owed T of X in dollars, filing separately with an adjusted gross income of X dollars is given by this equation. You guys, whenever you have a word problem, my very, very strong advice to you is to write X equals and Y equals, and to take 15 seconds. That's all it's going to take from your life to write it down, and then you're not going to get confused. So look what it says. The taxes owed T of X. Well, T of X is my Y. So Y is taxes owed. And then read in the paragraph, it says X dollars, an adjusted gross income. So I'm going to say adjusted gross income. Somebody tell me what adjusted gross income means. What's gross income? The money you make before taxes, right? What's adjusted gross income? You'll know this when you're an adult. It's not after taxes, because it's still gross. Gross means before taxes. So what is adjusted gross income? I would be so impressed if anybody knew this. You don't know because you're not an adult. The higher your income, the more taxes you pay. You want to decrease your income as much as you can, and that's the amount of money you have to pay taxes on. So what things can you do in here to decrease your gross income? What can you deduct right off the top? The insurance you pay on your mortgage. The more kids you have, the higher deduction you have. Those are really the two big ones. Kids you can deduct, and mortgage insurance. Those are the big ones. Okay. Okay, here we go. T of 30,000. Everybody draw an arrow to the 30,000, and you tell me, is that an X or is it the Y? An X. So that's your adjusted gross income. Okay. Now you tell me, look, 1, 2, or 3. If my X is 30,000, which one is it? It's number 2. So everybody grab your pencil and go 0.28 parenthesis. 30,000 minus 17,900 plus 2685. Grab your calculator. Let's just stick that whole stinking thing right in our calculator. Okay? So go 0.28 parenthesis. 30,000 minus 17,900. Close it off, plus 2685, you get 6,073, add a $sign. Everything has to have a label on a word problem. My label is money. The $sign does not go at the end of the money, you guys. It goes at the front, okay? What does this mean? I want you to talk about this and this. Somebody tell me. Adjusted gross income. So we'll say if your AGI, keep going. If your AGI is 30,000, and let's add a dollar symbol because that's how much you make, comma, then keep going.
Then you owe 6,000.
Perfect. then you owe $6,073 in taxes. Perfect. Okay, let's do the next one. $80,000. You tell me 1, 2, or 3. 3. So everybody go 0.31 parenthesis 80,000 minus 43,250, close it, plus 9783. Okay, all I did is plug that into equation 3. Grab your calculator. Put it in exactly how you see it. Literally exactly how you see it. Make sure to open your parentheses and close your parentheses and all that stuff. Okay, and you get $21,175.50. Is that what you got? Mm-hmm. Yes. The label is dollars, and the dollars goes at the beginning, right? So my sentence is, if your, talk to me, AGI is 80,000, then you owe that money in taxes. Is that accurate? If you make 80 grand, is over a quarter of your money going to go in taxes? True or false? That's true. Probably more. Probably like 25%. Yes?
So when we get docked, we just did 0.5. Do we need to do the 0.50 or?
Well, we're talking about money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it wouldn't make sense to not put the 0. Yeah. Okay, questions? All right.